It is the 1950s. A new generation has reached teenagehood. The generation that was weaned during wartime. Nestled on the eastern edge of the Piedmont area of North Carolina is the town of Burlington. Life for this generation in Burlington during the early 1950s was not substantially different from the rest of small-town America. Life was centered on cars, movies, and diners. Weekend evenings were spent driving around the downtown area in a pursuit that was known as Draggin Main.
Friday night, Saturday night was Draggin Main Street.
And we just go around, Spring Street, up to the depot, turn, hit Main, go down Main Street, all the way down.
It was the best time.
Hey, everybody's looking at the chicks looking at the guys, everybody's talking trash to each other and all this stuff, trying to pick up ladies and all that. You know, it was a lot of fun back then. Got the radio going wide open.
In 1931, two enterprising members of the community, Glenn Huffman and Dover Fogelman, plowed their funds into the creation of the airport in Burlington. Huffman Field Airport was formally dedicated in 1933 and was renamed to Fairchild Field after the Fairchild Aircraft Company established a plant adjacent to the landing strip in 1942. Several enterprising young people in town were bitten by the car tuning bug. Their older model cars became their laboratories as they made changes and tweaks to make them lighter, faster, noisier, and better.
I worked night shift. I'd get off on Saturday morning, and first thing I'd do after I come home and eat breakfast, I'd take the mufflers off my car, and I had a shield over the windshield. I'd take that off because that would drag, a lot of drag. And then I'd be ready to go drag racing.
A fast car in the hands of a young person can quickly lead to a need to prove one's superiority. Burlington's youth began drag racing on the open highways. Needless to say, this practice was frowned upon by law enforcement. Something had to be done to solve this problem. E.W. Gerganis, one of the founders of the local hot rod club, which was known as the Carolina Roadrunners, proposed an outrageous idea. Once the Carolina Roadrunners and the Burlington Police Club were in lockstep, preparations for organized drag racing were made. The inaugural race at Fairchild Airport was scheduled for on Sunday, June 21st, 1953.
So after we opened, that gave them a place to let it out over there, and they didn't do it on the road.
The Carolina Roadrunners ran all the operations at the Fairchild Airport drag races. The Fairchild drag races were the launch point for many whose names became well-known racers and mechanics in the drag racing world.
Alan Weddle, Jake King, Don Walton, Don Bullis.
Don Walton was racing back then, and Lynn Mooneyham, Alan Weddle.
You remember Sox and Martin? One of the greatest drag teams in the United States. Ronnie Sox started right over there with us. He was 14 years old. His daddy had a brown 49 O's four-door, and he came over and run with us. That's when his drag racing started.
Opposition to the races became louder and more targeted. Petitions were filed with the Burlington City Council. In January 1956, the City Council ruled against the races, and what had begun at Fairchild in 1953 came to an end. Drag racing returned to the streets and to the many tracks which had formed. Today, the echoes of the hot rods have long faded away, and most of the Carolina Roadrunners members and racers have passed. There is little memory of Fairchild Airport, although its runway peeks through on the properties of some businesses which line Graham-Hopedale Road. However, the legacy of what started here 65 years ago continues unabated. Fairchild's drag strip is numbered among the parent tracks that helped launch a new sport.